The tragic journey of Venus Williams and Serena Williams is a story of extraordinary triumph intertwined with deep personal loss. Together, Serena and Venus are celebrated as two of the most successful sisters in sports history, having secured an astounding 30 Grand Slam singles titles and 14 Grand Slam doubles titles between them. Yet their rise to the pinnacle of tennis was anything but smooth. Despite their dominance on the court, both sisters have endured heartbreaking tragedies and life-altering challenges that have left lasting scars. This is the powerful and emotional real-life story of the Williams sisters. Growing up on tough public tennis courts in Compton, California, Venus and Serena's path to stardom was shaped by resilience, discipline, and an unshakable belief instilled by their father, Richard Williams. With no formal tennis background, Richard taught himself the game by watching instructional videos and passed that knowledge on to his daughters. They trained on public courts in a neighborhood notorious for gang violence, where drug paraphernalia littered the ground and gunfire was a frequent and terrifying backdrop. Despite these harsh conditions, the family remained focused on a vision of greatness. Their relentless dedication eventually paid off, leading to extraordinary success. Richard Williams was later inducted into both the American Tennis Association Hall of Fame and the Black Tennis Hall of Fame, while Venus and Serena cemented their status as global legends. Still, the memories of their difficult beginnings remain a poignant part of their journey from Compton to worldwide acclaim. Witnessing gun violence became a tragic part of the sisters' formative years. Growing up in Compton exposed them to frequent shootings and gang activity. Venus once recalled a terrifying drive-by shooting during a 2017 event, describing how a man emerged from a sunroof and opened fire while they were practicing. Instinctively, they hit the ground before returning to training. When their mother, Yetunde Price, heard about the incident, she was devastated. Venus later reflected on how violence had become so normalized that they developed automatic survival instincts, something no child should ever have to experience. In 2001, Venus and Serena faced another deeply traumatic moment during the Indian Wells tournament. Set to meet in the semifinals, Venus withdrew minutes before the match due to knee tendinitis, sparking outrage among fans. The crowd erupted with boos and racial slurs, accusing the Williams family of fixing the outcome. Richard Williams later recalled being subjected to vile abuse, including racial threats, and admitted how difficult it was to restrain his emotions. The incident left deep emotional wounds that lingered for years. In a 2015 reflection, Serena described how the experience haunted their entire family, especially her father. Her decision to return to Indian Wells years later stood as a powerful testament to her resilience and courage. As African-American pioneers in a predominantly white sport, Venus and Serena reshaped tennis history. In 2000, Venus became the first African-American woman to win Wimbledon since Althea Gibson in the late 1950s. Despite their success, racism continued to follow them beyond the court. In 2018, an offensive photo circulated online showing individuals wearing blackface to mock the sisters and another athlete. Though apologies were issued, the incident added yet another painful chapter to their public lives. Despite her remarkable achievements, Serena often struggled with being compared to her older sister. Early in their careers, Venus was seen as the trailblazer, with Serena following in her shadow. In an interview with Oprah Winfrey, Serena admitted she spent much of her youth trying to emulate Venus, even copying her meal choices. It wasn't until she turned 21 that Serena fully embraced her own identity, a turning point that allowed her to become the iconic athlete the world knows today. In 2017, Serena's journey took another dramatic turn. She won the Australian Open while 8 weeks pregnant, defeating Venus in the final. However, her postpartum experience was nearly fatal. After an emergency C-section, Serena suffered blood clots in her lungs, severe coughing that reopened her surgical wound, and a large abdominal hematoma. She underwent additional surgery and had a filter placed in her vein to prevent further complications. Despite the ordeal, Serena embraced motherhood with profound joy, describing the first night her daughter slept beside her as one of the most powerful moments of her life. Gender double standards in sports came into sharp focus during the 2018 U.S. Open, when Serena was penalized after a heated exchange with umpire Carlos Ramos. Many felt the punishment was far harsher than what male players typically receive for similar behavior. Serena later addressed the incident in a powerful open letter, calling out the harmful stereotypes that label women as emotional or aggressive and urging the sports world to dismantle these unfair biases. Beyond Venus and Serena, the Williams family includes three older sisters, Yetunde, Isha, and Lindria Price, who played vital roles behind the scenes. Raised by Serena Price, the family remained tightly bonded, with the older sisters providing emotional and logistical support during Venus and Serena's rise. One of the most devastating chapters in the family's history was the tragic death of their half-sister Yetunde Price in 2003. She was shot and killed while sitting in a car in Compton. The loss profoundly affected Serena, who admitted years later that she had never fully recovered. Watching a portrayal of her sister in the film King Richard brought back overwhelming grief. Although the man responsible was sentenced to prison, his early release reopened wounds that never truly healed. Despite every tragedy, controversy, and public scrutiny, from car accident allegations to on-court outbursts and criticisms of Richard Williams' methods, the legacy of Venus and Serena Williams remains unmatched. Together, they hold over 100 singles titles and are widely regarded as two of the greatest tennis players of all time. Their story is not just about championships, but about perseverance, family, resilience, and the unbreakable bond forged through unimaginable adversity. The Williams sisters didn't just change tennis. They redefined what strength looks like in the face of pain.